Procrastination. According to Oxford Languages, it is the action of delaying or postponing something, and according to Merriam-Webster, to put off intentionally and habitually. You ever notice how you'll avoid a task for hours or days, even though you know it'll probably take you a couple of minutes to do, at max maybe an hour? Like, for example, writing an essay, we'll sit there thinking about it, stressing about it, maybe look at the syllabus, but regardless, we don't start. It could be something like cleaning your room. You'll walk by that mess 10 times and think, yeah, I'll get to it. And then we end up delaying other tasks we have in mind because we have that task in mind first. So it's almost like an endless loop of not doing something, knowing you have to do something. Not because the task is impossible or anything. It's more so our brain just thinking it's such a big step to go. There's so much to do. Let's not do it because we're too shy to do it. We're too scared to do anything about it. Brain just jumps through the entire task rather than thinking about the first steps or the first little bit to do to actually get to the end of that task. Let's just say you're going to run a marathon. Your brain thinks it's got to run 10, 20, 30, 40 kilometers before it even thinks about the first step. It's like an essay. You think of the thousand words and pages before you even come up with the idea. Before you begin, your brain already feels like it's done the marathon or it's already done that essay. And your brain is already building up that resistance to not even do anything. And it's just putting off that task for such a long time. Then you eventually feel like this task is way bigger than it actually is. And because of that, we do what most people do. We delay it, we push it, and we stress and dwell. There's actually a very simple trick to this. It's called the 5 minute rule. The idea behind the 5 minute rule is really simple. Instead of telling yourself you're going to do the entire task and finish it, you'll tell yourself you're going to work on it for just 5 minutes. That's it. Not an hour, not 10 minutes, not half a day, just 5 minutes. 5 minutes is just 300 seconds. Me saying that sentence already took about like four of them. Anyone can handle 300 seconds of anything. And the most important thing is you focus on one tiny task of that major project for just 5 minutes. If you're writing an essay, maybe the goal is just to come up with the title, organize a couple paragraphs, and just come up with a rough skeleton. If you're working on a project, maybe it's just opening up the document. Maybe it's just looking for some tutorials. Maybe it's writing down some ideas and notes for yourself. It's just a way to get started. Remember, you're just doing it for 5 minutes. Because eventually, you need to get the ball rolling somehow. And you make a deal with yourself, just 5 minutes, and you can commit yourself to that small goal. But the interesting thing is, after that 5 minutes, something changes. The huge wall of resistance eventually begins to disappear, and you begin to actually doing the task. Because your brain now isn't thinking about the entire task anymore. It's just focused on the small thing in front of you, writing a sentence, picking something up, fixing one small part. And once you've already done it, stopping actually feels harder than continuing. You're already there, you're already in the flow state, you're already starting out. So a lot of the time, those 5 minutes turn into 10 and 20. Before you know it, you're making actual progress on something you're voting for hours. And that's the most interesting part about procrastination. And the part that bothers me the most is when you're at the end of it, you're like, dude, if I just started a bit earlier, imagine how much more I could have done. So let's just say you don't want to go to the gym. If you don't want to go to the gym, tell yourself one thing. I'm gonna do one exercise, a couple sets of one exercise, and just spend 5 minutes there. Or you say, I want to be on the treadmill for 5 minutes. Soon you'll be there for 10, and then another five comes up, and then another five, and then another 10. And then you know you're there for half an hour getting a sweat and getting that blood going. So next time you're avoiding something, don't tell yourself you're going to do the entire thing. Tell yourself you're going to work on it for just 5 minutes. You're not going to be there for an hour. You're not going to sit there and grind just 5 minutes and see what happens. Because the first 5 minutes of any task is where you're most susceptible to getting distracted. Again, 5 minutes on that YouTube idea you're putting off, 5 minutes of that business idea that's been sitting in your head, 5 minutes of writing, brainstorming, organizing thoughts, just 300 seconds, and then you're good to stop. Then you can go do whatever you want. Time, because most of the time, the hardest part is never actually the work. It's just getting your mind there and getting your body there. And eventually you feel like, hey, I'm glad I went there. I'm glad I started. So next time you're stuck procrastinating and you really want to get to a task but you know you can't, just promise yourself 5 minutes. Set a timer, close off everything, and just focus on one small task for 5 minutes.